heading to Disney World soon, not knowing really what to do on your next Disney trip? Well, in this video, we're going to go over some things that you want to avoid on your next Disney trip. So let's get into it. You're headed to Disney World and you want to make the most out of your vacation. You want to go over things that you don't want to do and things you want to avoid when you are going on your next Disney World trip. So in this video, we're going to talk about the things that we here at Ryan's Ohana like to avoid on this Disney trip, and maybe it'll help you on your Disney World trip. So first up on our list is paying too much for your hotel. This is one thing you're going to want to avoid, is you don't want to spend way too much money on your hotel because you're really only going to be there to sleep. Now, when you're looking at your hotel, you got to see what's in your budget. You know, some of these resorts are nice. They're really nice, like Coronado and Polynesian. You know, they're really, really, really beautiful, and they have really, really good resorts and really good pools and stuff like that. But it just depends on what type of vacation you are wanting to have. If you're wanting to go just to head to the parks, my recommendation is to stay at one of the Valley resorts. You're still going to get that very nice pool and some very nice amenities at your resort. But if you really want to go all out, go ahead and get that moderate or deluxe villa resort, you know, like Port Orleans or Coronado. You know, you're gonna spend a little bit more money on there, but you don't want to spend too much money. Just know your budget, know what you can afford, and then go from there. Like I said, it just depends on what you're looking for in your hotel. For us, we like to stay at Coronado or Pop Century. Those are our favorites because we feel like we get more bang for our buck at Pop Century and Coronado. But that's just for us here at Ryan's Ohana. Those are what we like to do. Like I said, it's completely up to you, completely up to your budget, but just don't spend too much money on your hotel. Next up on our list is don't waste days. And what we mean by that is when you're traveling to Disney or you're traveling to Florida, you might miss a few hours or even a day if your flight gets delayed. So what we do at Ryan's Ohana is we fly early in the morning, like a red-eye earlier in the morning flight. We get there at around 10 a.m., maybe even 9 a.m. We go and we check into our hotel. And what we normally do is we normally leave our bags and luggage at the hotel because our hotel usually isn't ready till 3 p.m. So we'll usually leave our bags at the hotel at at whatever time we arrive. And then we'll go to either Disney Springs or we'll go to an actual park, depending on what we feel like doing during that trip. You know, or we'll just go ahead and whenever we're driving, we try to drive as early as we can to get there as early as we can so that we're not missing any time. Because if you feel like you waste a day, you really are wasting a day. You know, in Disney, if you get there late or you know your flight gets delayed or anything like that, I know that's completely out of your control, but we like to get there as early as possible and then try to make the most out of our vacation by, you know, just enjoying whatever time that we can and getting whatever time that we get there. You know, we try and do something as soon as we get in by just dropping off our bags and then just going straight to either the park or going to Disney Springs and just enjoying ourselves, or maybe even just get into the pool and relax and have that resort day, you know, whatever time we arrive, and just really just enjoy the resort. It's up to you, whatever you really feel like doing during that time. Next up on our list of things to avoid at Disney World is visiting Epcot at the wrong time. So as you know, Epcot has a bunch of festivals that go on throughout the year, and the thing you might not want to do is visit at the wrong time when there's either no festival going on or the festival just began and there is a lot of crowds, because usually when it's the first day of a festival, you're usually going to enter with a lot of crowds because a lot of the locals are wanting to see either the Food and Wine or Flower and Garden Festival on that day of opening day, because they want to try out all the foods and all the drinks that they're going to have during that festival, during that time. So you'll see a lot of people there to grab the merchandise, to grab, you know, all the foods and stuff like that. So you might not want to visit during the first day. You might want to do it during the week or during one of the off-peak of the season, like after the festival has been there for a few weeks or even a month or so. So then you'll want to visit, so that way the crowds won't be there as much. You go during the week, there won't be very many crowds. We've done it where we've kind of waited like a month or two until the festival has kind of already gone on, and then we'll go in there and we'll visit and we'll try all the foods, we'll try all the drinks. There still will be some merchandise, and you'll be able to be less crowded there at the parks. It won't be really, really crowded. and you'll be able to have a great time and you'll be able to have fun. So that's our advice on when to visit Epcot is to try during not when it's not very very busy. Next up on our list is to plan your trips during the busy season. Don't plan your trips during the busy seasons because you will be miserable. We have done it. We have gone in July and August when school is out and it is the prime time for crowds to be there. And we really didn't have a great time because it was like wall to wall people. And you're just trying to fight to get yourself to the next ride. You're trying to stand in long lines, for rides or just to see the next show. You're not going to really be really happy if you go during the busy time. So we suggest not to go during the busy time. So please avoid that at all costs. To not go during the busy times. Try to go during an off-peak season, during the off-peaks during the seasons, like right when school has just let in, or right before the holidays. If you can, take your vacation time during that time because you will have a great time during your Disney trip. Because if you go during the busy season, you plan yourself to go during that time, you're not going to have a great time. It'll be hot. It'll be rainy. I mean, it is Florida. It is going to rain whether you like it or not. But, things you're going to want to try to avoid is that to try not to plan your trip during that busy times, during the busy seasons when there's a lot of crowds because you will not be happy. And especially if you have little ones and you go with them, they're not going to be happy. So when they're not happy, you're not going to be happy. And you're just trying to go just to have a fun vacation and you're going to be miserable. So try not to go during the busy times. Try not to plan your vacation during those times, during the summer months or when school's in session or during holidays, because you're not going to have a great time. And that's one thing that we really suggest you to do on your next vacation. Next up on our things to avoid is not use your lightning lanes. So at Disney World, of course, they got rid of the Fast Pass and now they have lightning lanes. And you use that through Genie Plus. So when you have Genie Plus and you're going into the parks, you got to know when to use your lightning lanes and got to know how to use them because especially for the rides like Tron and for Guardians of the Galaxy, you're going to want to make sure that you use those lightning lanes correctly, and especially for like Rise of the Resistance, because if you don't, you could miss out on riding those rides altogether because they do fill up quick and fast. So you're going to want to make sure that you know how to properly use those lightning lanes and what rides you exactly want to ride on your upcoming Disney trip, because depending on what you want to ride is depending on which kind of lightning lanes you're going to want to reserve. So you got to make sure you get up at that, because the lightning lanes, you're able to get Genie Plus at midnight the day before, so you can start signing up for your lightning lanes that night. So when you do that, make sure you go to whichever ride you want to ride and make sure you use correctly your lightning lanes on which rides you want to ride throughout the day, because that is going to be very, very essential to make sure that you have a great day at your Disney World trip. So please try to avoid not using your lightning lane. Next up is also forgetting to register your family member. That is one thing you definitely want to avoid, because I've done it before where we're going with some friends on a trip and I forgot to link them to our My Disney Experience app, and we've gone to try and all use our magic bands to try and get in, and we can't get in because somebody on our magic band, I forgot to register them to link them to our My Disney Plus, so therefore they aren't linked, and therefore when we try to ride a ride, they're not linked to our My Disney Experience app, so we all can't get on the ride at the same time because we're trying to go through and they're like, hey, this person isn't linked up to your My Disney Experience app, therefore they're not on your lightning lane for this ride. And you're like, oh, wait, what? And you're like, oh, man, I forgot to do that. And then you have to go to customer service and get it all sorted out there and get them put on your My Disney Experience app. And then also you have to figure out, to get them back on your lightning lanes. So it's just a big, big, big hassle to try and get all that done. And that's something you don't want to have to deal with on top of missing out on time in your Disney World vacation because you have to go back to Disney customer service and register that family member. So try and avoid to do that. Next up on the list of things you don't want to avoid in Disney World is skipping out on the magic shots. The photographers there at Disney World are there to take pictures of you with your favorite characters, and on some of the shots that they have, they can create magic shots, which they can put in different little effects on your photo that you can take when you take your photos with them. They can put little effects on your photo, and it's very, very fun to see on your My Disney Experience app when you look up under your photos and you see, hey, there's an actual rainbow behind us with Tigger, or there's Tinkerbell there when I'm holding out my hand. So don't miss out on those magic shots. They're very, very amazing to see, so don't skip out on them. Next thing you want to avoid on your next Disney trip is missing your virtual queue. So as of right now, the only virtual queues you will have is for Tron Light Cycle Run and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So you don't want to miss your virtual queue because you have to get up really, 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 really early at 7 a.m. when the virtual queue opens, so that way you can be able to ride Tron or Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, so getting up at 7, sometimes these things fill up very, very, very fast. It just depends on what time of the season you are going, and you don't want to miss out, and you don't want to miss your virtual queue for whenever you get your time, your callback time. Once you get your callback time, you're going to want to be there within that hour of your callback time, because we've done it where we've missed it and we've had a hard time to try and get it back. So don't do it. The final thing is don't ignore your body. That is the last thing you want to avoid in Disney World, is ignoring your body. Your body knows when you've had enough, when you need to keep going, when you need water, when you need a break, when you need to rest your feet. Your body knows. In Disney World, you can walk up to 15 miles. That is 15 miles a day you could walk in Disney World. The parks are huge. Just alone, I think last year when we went, we walked, at least like 20 miles a day. It was like 15,000 steps. I mean, we walked a lot. My feet were killing me by the end of the night. I mean, by day 2, I had probably blisters. So you got to make sure you have the right shoes and the right everything that you need for a Disney park, for a Disney World day. But like I said, don't ignore your body. Make sure you get plenty of water, especially in the heat. Make sure you get your rest, take your breaks. Don't forget to take just a day just to be at the resorts and just have fun on your next Disney World vacation. But that's going to do it for this episode here on Ryan's Ohana. So please like, subscribe, hit that bell, and we'll see y'all guys in the next one.